Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us on our new in the queue recap today of the SAP Partner Summit. My name is Elizabeth Miller, and I'm joined today with Lauren Flowers, one of our amazing Quaint consultants. Quaint is an SAP B1 provider who values excellence in customer service as well as knowledge of our SAP Business One application. And part of what we like to do here at Quaint is ensure we're always showcasing great features and telling you more about what's up and coming in the SAP B1 application and what new features are headed your way. So today we are reviewing the roadmap and features that SAP is focusing on in the next year or so. And we're highlighting some of our own key takeaways for you, as well as highlighting some of our favorite vendors and add-on features that you'll want to keep an eye out for in the B1 space. So let's talk through what we're going to be focusing on today. So we are going to be looking at the SAP roadmap and specifically some key features in the web client, security features and extensibility, as well as where they are headed with the mobile app. We are going to talk about the new feature pack 2405 that should be coming out here any day now, likely here in June. And then talk again about some of the vendors, like I said, that are key people that you want to watch and some really new cool features and things that help extend the SAP B1 application. So the SAP roadmap, SAP right now is projecting out through 2027. SAP is looking to do a version 11, so they are still moving ahead. That is also for SAP HANA as well as SQL. So I know there were some concerns just that maybe SAP was headed more in the HANA space and where is SQL going. I just want to reassure everyone that both HANA and SQL are continuing through version 11. And what we are seeing is that there aren't a lot of core application features, like new features coming out, although SAP is trying to take into account customer-specific feedback and looking for enhancement requests and things like that as always. So they will be incorporating some of those, but we aren't seeing as much of the core application features. What we are seeing is that SAP is really looking at their extended platform capabilities in the web client, their cloud features, mobile apps, and things like that, as well as buttoning up some key areas in SAP with regards to security and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be focusing more on today. So not a lot, again, of those core application features, but much more in the web client, mobile apps, and some of those other capabilities that help extend the product. I do want to note too that there are a lot of slides today and a lot of things that may be hard to read. And I want you to be rest assured that these slides are up already on our Quaint website, on our resource page for you. We won't go through every single thing on these slides, but we wanted you to have these slides to be able to go back to because there is a lot of content. So just make sure you go ahead and download that, and we'll just do key takeaways from each slide as we go along here. So again, just to talk about in some of the recent feature packs, what has come out, you'll see here there are some recent innovations with regards to the client, the web client, as well as they are doing a lot of globalization things. We're not seeing a lot in the US globalization, but some of the European ones, they're still doing some feature upgrades. We're seeing more again in the mobile. And then you can see here there are some core planned innovations for feature pack 2405. And then where are they going in the future? Again, focusing more on the web client, extensibility of service layer, mobility, and things like that. So Lauren, I'm going to hand it over to you to kind of talk through some of the things that we're seeing in the web client. There's some really neat key features that they're trying to do with customizations and extensibility. So I'm going to let you take it over from here and talk about what you heard at the summit and what some of those features are looking like.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Liz. As you mentioned, like SAP put a lot of focus around the web client during the sessions at the Partner Summit this year. So we do have quite a bit of slides on it. The web client is certainly part of a direction that they're moving towards in their strategic decision to enrich and extend the core of Business One. And what we found at the summit is that they truly have been making improvements to the web client. It definitely looks a lot cleaner, and they have continuously been bringing more and more core business processes to the web client. And while it does have some nice and intriguing new features, the truth is that it's not still completely there yet to be a fit for all customers. And kind of what we've found, there's still some missing features, which keeps its usability a little basic, but there could be some scenarios where even a few certain users in a company could maybe make use of it for specific business processes. So kind of keep that in mind as we go through these slides. What we found is that some of the updates in the upcoming 2405 release of the web client that could be pretty helpful or useful include multiple themes or appearance colors. Serial batch support on incoming transactions is coming in the web client. Also UDF setup and creation. And something really cool that might be geared a little more towards consultants, perhaps, is setting up and configuring the system within the web client. And it should actually be a lot easier because previously you had to kind of toggle back and forth to the FAT client for setup. But now they've actually kind of condensed that into a nice area that's organized really easily within the web client for quick configuration. So no more toggling back and forth, which makes it really easy. And in addition, right here on the slide, you can see that some of the integration and extensibility improvements that are coming down the line right here. But Liz, if you want to hop over to the next slide, we'll take a look actually at the analytics. So another session that was really popular at the conference highlighted the analytic capabilities of the web client. And as you can see here, there's just some examples of kind of what it looks like within the web client. But actually, if we go over to the next slide, we'll see a little bit more detail about what's coming that way. Alrighty. So just some more details about the analytics and how they run. The beauty of the upcoming release of the web client is the ability to turn any list view within the web client into a graphical view. And this can even be done by applying custom user queries, which is really nice. So it almost acts as an analytic tool. You can also link views and queries to business partners, for example, to be used almost like a pervasive analytics tool if you're on SAP Business One HANA. For example, unresolved service calls related to business partners, those can kind of be refreshed automatically as you kind of go through business partner by business partner. You can also create card views, which can be used to create dashboards within the web client. And in addition, export to Excel is also supported. In the upcoming versions, SAP is planning to be able to share views and user queries by email and across databases. So again, they're really extending and enriching the core here by giving you some analytic capabilities. Alrighty, and here are some of the planned innovations for the web client. To wrap up our discussion here, SAP's main goal is to continue to extend business logic coverage into the web client, and you can see those different areas on the left-hand side of this slide. They plan to support more around analytics, reporting, and printing. And in addition, they are making strides in terms of integration and extensibility, as we talked about on one of the previous slides. Some of these include improvements of the UI API and user-defined values. I know this is a big one for a lot of people that have explored web client in the past and have faced some limitations. User-defined values are still very development-like in their stage as opposed to the formatted search setup that we are most familiar with in SAP. However, I will say it's in their long-term roadmap to get it to be something like we're used to in the FAT client. You can see that they also have planned extended Microsoft and Outlook integration. And lastly, AP invoice creation automation using document information extraction service in the web client. So again, what we're seeing is that the web client is still ramping up, but improvements are in the roadmap. And it really is a main focus of SAP's moving forward. And I just want to emphasize that if you have any questions on if the web client is a good fit for you, Quaint customers, please reach out to us. Otherwise, please reach out to your SAP partner to discuss further. Liz, I'll pass it back over to you for the next slide.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base on that feature that they're looking to do with that AP creation, the document information extraction. That's something that we're seeing a lot more of in the direction that SAP is going with regards to their BTP platform as well. SAP, and we'll talk about this maybe in a later slide, but SAP is really trying to start working on AI things and the data extraction to help automate processes. So it was very cool to see that they're going to try to start implementing that in the web client as well, and not just outsourced add-ons or other things like that. So that was a cool one that I just wanted to touch base on real quick.
Yep.
So another thing that we were talking about that they're really focusing on right now, and I would say it's kind of like a buttoning up of features that are needed as we are seeing more and more issues with regards to security these days, and that is that SAP has started to implement, and I believe this started a few feature packs ago, specifically some big enhancements in 2305 in the identity and authentication management, and we'll be seeing more of these. We have seen more of these in 2402, but in 2405, which is coming out here shortly, you should see even more of these features. So what do those look like? So we are starting to see things like two-factor authentication now is able to be set up in the SLD. They are doing things like, and I'll say kind of finally, because this is something we wanted for a long time, which was password resets from the login screen. So if you can't remember it, you can now do a password reset yourself instead of getting locked out of your account and then having an admin having to go in and fix that for you. We're seeing things like single logout for all SAP web-based pages. So if you're in the same browser and you have a whole bunch of SAP pages open, if you sign out of one, they're now signing you out of all, kind of like single sign-on, where you sign in one time and then you're into the application. Single sign-out, it's literally logging you out of everything to make sure nothing is left open. They're doing password security resets and things like that to allow you to enhance your password security for the users inside the application as well. And again, I just want to note that in the slides that we have available, these QR codes for you give you access to the SAP blogs and a YouTube video on these specific features and how they're set up. So if you actually want to see how some of that is working or what the new features are, feel free to navigate over to those, and they do a really great job of walking you through that. So some of those planned innovations, like I was already touching base on, they're continuing to work on the identity authentication, and they are working on that forgot my password, including password policy management. Those are the key ones in here, but I won't bore you with reading through each one, but those are where they're really trying to button up all the security and get us to a more stable environment within the application without having to do other enhancements as we've had to do in the past to kind of just ensure that everything is as it should be for the users and the databases and servers. So let's look at where are we going with the extensibility as far as the service layer and the mobile app.
Yeah, just to quickly touch base on SAP's plan for extensibility. SAP's focus is to continue to enhance the service layer API, which we see tremendous value in. So just a reminder for any customers that the service layer is available for SQL clients as of version 10.0. So for SQL, if you aren't up to that version level yet, well, one, you're behind. And two, you probably want to consider upgrading to possibly make use of the service layer in your business, again, to extend the core of Business One into different verticals and custom scenarios. In addition, again, we touched base on some of the web client extensibility already. And lastly, they're having more enablement around the business technology platform, or BTP, again, for more vertical or custom scenarios. We saw this a bit at the conference. And so that's why we just wanted to make sure we brought it up here to you as well.
Yeah, and Lauren, just on that web client extensibility, did you see, because I heard some of it at the summit as well, that they were trying to allow more customization within the web client as well to make the user experience more friendly, kind of like what we have in SAP, where you can move fields around on the forms and things like that we didn't have before. And like you said, they're allowing user-defined values and things like that. So they're really trying to emulate what we've had in the application itself more into the web client now to give us that usability and more custom experience that we were looking for. So
yeah, a lot of the extensibility in the web client, again, is still more in a development-like stage. So if you have somebody in your organization or you work with your partner to kind of enhance the web client in that way, that's good. It's still not what we're looking for, again, like what we're used to in setting up formatted searches or maybe UI templates and things like that in the FAT client, but we're moving in that direction. So that's the great news.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. And so moving on to the planned innovations for the mobile apps, SAP has planned a service app that allows ticket creation and will overall look to keep the software up to speed with the ever-evolving technology advancements of the mobile devices themselves. So just think about some of those key features that are working on mobile devices, and SAP is going to bring that into their software to kind of keep up to date with all of that. And this includes evolving the service layer into a platform for building mobile solutions for different verticals. So that's a really good application of how you could use the service layer. There's many, many different types. But again, through these different areas, you can see how SAP is driving home their strategy, again, to enrich and extend the core of Business One to these other areas.
Yeah, and I just want to highlight here, there are a few different mobile apps. I know this can be confusing sometimes. There is the SAP app, there is a sales app, and there is a service app. So this one specifically for the ticket creation is within the service app. Lauren, are you seeing as well that they're working on other features for like the sales app specifically that we know a lot of clients use?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're working on that one as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so just keep an eye out for those kind of updates as they're coming, like release by release, I would say.
Yep.
Perfect. So that kind of brings us to the latest release here, the latest and greatest. SAP spent a good bit of time at the conference kind of discussing and demonstrating some of the features here. As Liz mentioned, I think at the beginning, they had this release to be scheduled to be delivered within May. However, we haven't seen it yet. So it's likely to be delivered in June at this point. So just be sure to look out for any updates from your SAP partner if you're interested. But overall, again, we're not seeing many updates to the core within this version. There are some enhancements in terms of customer requests and improvements and things like that. But we are seeing some important updates for localizations other than the US. Again, we're not going to touch on them because many of us here are within the US. But as the Service Pack release 2405 focuses mainly on the areas of security compliance, which are super important nowadays, and extended service layer coverage, as well as the cloud functionalities. And that's kind of really where they're headed with this. And if Liz, we can go to the next slide. So just to continue talking about 2405, we're seeing some enhancements around some of the configuration areas within the system. A lot of what we talked about prior within the setup here. There's also some improvements around usability here, as you can see, as well as enhancements within marketing documents. And again, serials, batches, and bins, which is really nice. And you can see again on the right the extensibility areas, specifically within the web client, which are the user interface API, and simple user-defined values and user-defined field setup. So again, a lot of what we talked about already, main things are bringing core to the web client, so core business processes, and then building out the tools for you to extend the web client as you see fit as well. Liz,
Right.
is there
And
anything else that you saw in 2405 that's important to mention?
those are the main things. And I know that we're doing like a high level and just saying there are some enhancements with serial batch and bins. When we get the actual release notes for 2405, when they're officially released, we'll be sure to have those out for our customers. Or if you, as soon as we hear about them, if you like them and you haven't seen them from us yet, feel free to reach out to us and we'll get those for you. But we will likely publish them on our customer portal just so everyone knows what those are, what specifically they changed, because we don't have them yet. We can only explain in generality what they said would be in there, and then we'll know more specifics once that's officially released. But no, Lauren, I think you did a good job of the basic overview of what I heard as well. So I don't really have anything else to add on that part. So let's talk about vendors to watch. So another great thing at the summit is we're able to network and meet with other partners and vendors who are looking to continue to enhance the customer experience with the SAP B1 application. And we wanted to bring some of those to you and kind of feature our core picks as far as where some of these products are going. So we're just going to walk through a few of those. You will see that the bold highlighted is what we personally at Quaint are picking as our top reason for looking at these times. Some of these vendors do the same or similar things, but we're letting you know which ones are our top pick for which reason by that bolded statement when you review the slides. So our first one here is Wisys. They are our top pick right now for a warehouse management system. They also do shipping, pallets, containers, fulfillment, and customization of documentations and things like that. They are really awesome guys. I know some of our customers are already looking into those for their WMS solutions. But check them out. We've provided the URL links to their websites here as well. So that's our top WMS system pick. Boyum, usually everybody knows who Boyum is. Boyum is fantastic at all things customization and usability, and they continue to be our Quaint top pick for that. But a couple other things, they also have a WMS system called Progimex, which is very robust WMS. And they also have a very robust manufacturing add-on, the Bayes manufacturing. And they recently acquired a PIM solution, which is called Perfian Product Information Management System, that you'll want to check out if you're looking into a different PIM system. We would definitely have you look into their solution as well. In addition to that, some of our integration providers that you want to keep an eye out for are Fisher Technology. They're our top pick for an intercompany solution, and we did do a feature on them a while back. Oh, I do want to mention for our last slide that we are doing a feature on Wisys next month. So in June, we will be featuring their WMS and some of their key features. But if you want to look back to some past ones that we have done with Fisher Technologies, we did talk about their intercompany solution. And we also touched base on Alluvia and their EDI integrations. ITMD is another great partner that we have. They have an excellent customer and vendor portal. They also, like these others that you're seeing here, do e-commerce integrations. And they also have a PIM solution as well, if you're interested in that, to be looking out for, as well as what's unique to them is they do a subscription add-on in case anybody is doing subscriptions these days, which can be very complicated. They have a great solution for that. So be on the lookout for these providers for different types of integrations. And again, our top pick for intercompany is Fisher Technology, Alluvia for EDI, and ITMD for their customer and vendor portals. So look out for those. And then a few other ones to look out for that we were able to meet up at the summit was SaluOne. I believe they're based out of Mexico, but to date, we've had a few customers ask us for point of sale recommendations. And SAP does have a point of sale solution called customer checkout that is very prevalent in Europe, now kind of coming to the US here and there. That one does use the B1i, which not everybody is a huge fan of. So if you're not a huge fan of the B1i and looking for a different solution, SaluOne has a fantastic point of sale solution. And they basically, all they do is Business One, and they live and breathe it for like the last 15 years, and they have a really great product. So be on the lookout for them. For credit card processing, eBiz is the best. They're the ones that we recommend the most often. They are also doing some cool new things for fraud prevention and embedded payments. So if you already have their credit card processing, just maybe go check out some of the new features that they are providing and see if there are any other solutions that you might be interested in with them as well. And then one that was a cool new feature that I know, Lauren, you had some interaction with or was able to attend some of their sessions was for AI. We heard of MyWave.ai, and they're really going after that generative AI space in SAP Business One right now. So if you're looking for some artificial intelligence and things like that with relation to any of your websites or the SAP B1 integrations, definitely check out MyWave and see what they're up to, because they seem to kind of be the leading force in the AI space for B1 right now. Lauren, did you have anything else to add on any of these particular vendors or notes on who you saw?
No, just wanted to highlight again that next month we'll be talking with the WISIS team on our monthly webinar. So be on the lookout for that. We will probably be doing a series with them, a webinar series with them upcoming as well. As far as the MyWave AI goes, yeah, that was a bit of a buzzword as well at the conference. And of course, you know, everyone was really excited to see what was going on there. They do have starter packs available with specific business scenarios. So that could be a good way to get started if you're interested in something like that. But they really are the leading force. So I would suggest checking out their website. They have some videos. They might even have a video out of their presentation at the conference if you're kind of just trying to look and see even where to get started with that.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you for that. So let's talk about what are the key takeaways. So just to kind of sum up where we are and what is happening with the B1 space. If there was any concern as to where B1 is going, it's not going anywhere. We are definitely projecting out, like I said at the beginning, to 2027 at the very least, and version 11.0 is on the horizon. Like we already explained, the core application is kind of set as far as SAP is concerned and what their main features are, but they will be taking into consideration customer feedback and kind of looking at enhancements from you guys. So if there are key things that you think are missing or features that you wish were there, please get out there. And if you need help finding the location on the SAP site to put in your feedback, please let us know. We'd be happy to provide that for you. But get your thoughts and feature requests out there, because that's kind of what they're looking at now, is to get feedback from the consumer to see what they want. And their focus is to go back to security and buttoning things up, really go after the web client and the mobile features at this point in time. Be on the lookout, and we will let you know when that 2405 release is up and what the actual key features are in that. Hopefully that will be coming out in June, as Lauren explained earlier. And then always be on the watch for our webinars in the future featuring different partners, but look at what their solutions are, because we have some great providers that are doing really awesome things to help extend SAP even farther than SAP's reach at this time, and really bring you some of those other key automations and efficiencies. So look at them, look at what everybody is doing, and get your feedback out there. At this time, if there's any specific questions, we'd be happy to hear from you and see if you have any questions with regards to where SAP is going or feature pack requests or anything like that. So we will open it up to you guys if you have anything to ask. Okay, but if there's no questions, then I just want to reiterate that all of these slides are now available at the Quaint Business website on our resource page, and I've provided the link here, as well as if you have any questions with regards to the web client, feel free to reach out to us directly, but we've also provided a SAP Learning application for the B1 client to give you more information about what resources are available with that tool. And as always, thank you for attending. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn and check out our email announcements if you're a current customer for new product features and where we're going at Quaint and where SAP and B1 are going. And thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure. Have a wonderful day, everybody.